on the journey of you guys getting to know me. My name is Pumla, and it's a Xhosa name. So my Xhosa people call me Push. Yeah, and I love it so much when they call me Push, because I'm a push it until the kalba I can go ndifuna ukuphumla. Then I'll rest. So anyway, and funny enough, my parents are not even Xhosa, you know. I don't know. I have a Xhosa name, but my mom is Swati or was Swati, and my dad was Zulu. So that makes me a Zulu girl. Damn, I love a Zulu girl. Okay, I'm done with playing, guys. So yeah. I'm a Zulu girl from KZN, and yeah, that's it. Anyway, I have another story time today. It's a story that happened a long time ago. It happened a long time ago, but just as I'm telling my stories, I'm documenting my stories. I'll tell every other story that I have. So this one came to mind. So I was living in KZN with my grandmother, my father's mother. So with Granny, it was a lot of us, me and my cousins. Like, when you at your grandmother's house, it's a lot of you. Yeah, so it was like a lot of us, and we're only two girls and with lots of boys. So my older cousin's sister, Utando, and I were the only girls, so the chores were on us most of the time. So my grandmother did not like anyone was like idling, or you have to do something after something. After if you're done, she's like, are you done with what you were doing? When you say yes, she thinks of whatever she's gonna tell you to do, and then you have to do it. And then so that's one time I do all my chores. When I'm done, she asks, and then, are you done? I'm like, yes, I'm done. And then she's like, okay, go to this place. And she was sending me to a cousin basically to check up on her, and then she wrote some letter for me to give it to a cousin. So her cousin's place was a bit far from where we stay. So I go to my next door friend to ask her to accompany me. So I go to a place, and then she asks her parents or her family to come with me, and then they agree, and then we go on our way. It was so nice. We were still in high school by then. We were still in high school. So she asked, okay, so we go, and on our way it was so nice. We were talking, we were chatting, we were like around 15. Yeah, like we're chatting, it's so nice, we're holding hands, we're singing on our way there. It's so nice. So there was this other house we're just passing. So before I get to that story, there's this guy. I know him from school and from around the area, and my dad knows his dad. Yeah, and my dad knew his dad. So I don't remember his name. Guys, I'm so bad with names. I don't really remember his name. I don't even remember knowing his name even back then. So I'm not sure what his name. But then this guy used to ask me out, but like not in the nice way, like forcefully, doing things for me, maybe to get scared and then conform to whatever. And then I was like, no, man, not me. I ain't doing that. So this guy at school would try, and then he would try and get my attention. He would try to get my attention, and then I would not give it to him because I did not like, for some reason I did not like him. I don't know why, but I just didn't like the guy. And now this time the guy, so as I'm going back to me going to my grandmother's cousin's place with my neighbor friend, and then we walking. As we were about to pass the guy's place, him and his brothers, they were sitting under the tree. In the rural areas, they it's like a big yard, and then with like a fenced house, like it was a fence around all around his house, so you can see whatever is happening in the yard. So like they were just like a well-off family. They had like a lot of cars and kumbis and like a lot of livestock, the goats, the cows. But it was during the day, so the cows and the livestock was not there. Maybe the pigs were there and the chickens and whatnot. And then other cows, few of the cows were outside, were in the yard, and then lots of the cows were not in the yard, but there were dogs as well. So they had like lots of dogs. Like, guys, when I say lots, it was like more than maybe 20 dogs. I guess maybe they were using those dogs as like to guard the yard, because they had a lot of like livestock and cars and whatnot, and they just fenced the yard. There was not like a big gate or whatnot. So as we were passing, they sitting under the tree, and then I think his brother told him that, ooh, there are girls coming, and then he turned like this just to look at us, and then he saw me. As soon as he saw me, he just stands up, and then they all stand up. They say hi, and then you say hi back, and then they say how are you, and then you say we're fine, and then they start saying something, and then my friend and I just continued walking, and then he realized that I'm doing the thing again, ignoring him, and now I'm doing it in front of his brothers, obviously. And I guess he wanted to, prove a point to his brothers or whatever. So as I said before, they had like a lot of dogs. So he says something to his brothers, and then they start laughing. I don't know what he said, but he said something to his brothers, and then they start laughing. And then it just goes, phela ngayenza ukuthi ungikhulumise if awufuna ukungikhulumisa. He said that I can make you speak to me like forcefully, like I can make you. Don't do that to me, because I can make you speak to me even if you don't want to. I still kept quiet. My friend and I ignored them. We were holding hands, talking to each other, and then he just decided he will call his dogs, because they had lots of them. And then he just went kss, kss. And then all the dogs, at home we had dogs. My dad had 2 dogs, so basically I was the one who was taking care of them, and I was so close with both of the dogs. So I do, like, know how to handle dogs, and I knew how to handle dogs. But then it was just two dogs, it was, and our dogs were, the big one was a bit feisty, he used to, to be a bit, and then the other one was just a puppy, and then nice and lovely. Even the big one was nice and loving to us at home as a family, but with the outsiders he was not. So, but I knew how to tame a dog. So he decides it's he wants to show off to his brothers and show, and then he decides to call his dogs, and then he just went when we started ignoring him. And then all the dogs, and I was not aware because a lot of the dogs are just laying around all over the yard. You can't tell it's like 20 or 10 or 5 dogs, but you can see there's a dog there, another one there, another one over there, so you can't really tell how many dogs they were at the time. But as soon as he said all the dogs just stood up, like they were all alert. And then as soon as the dogs were alert, he did the again. Even the ones that didn't hear, they heard the second, and then they all went. I swear to you guys, I was like, even if I'm not scared of dogs, or I know how to handle dogs, but these are so many dogs. What are we gonna do? My friend started panicking. She was like, no, you see what you have done now. You're bringing me to your places, and now I have to handle this, and I'm scared of dogs. I'm like, she wanted to run. And then I was like, no, if you run, because the dogs are still like, standing, looking at him, looking at, all the directions. The dogs were still, like this, looking at him, looking all around like this, waiting for him to tell them what to do. So my friend is panicking and telling me, I'm running back home, I'm like, whatever you do not run. If you run, you are good as dead. Whatever you do not run. You run, consider yourself dead. She's like, but what are we going to do? Look at those dogs. So many dogs. There's no way. I'm like, whatever you do, I not run. Do not run. Do you hear me? And like, no, oh my goodness, I'm scared of dogs. I'm like, do not run. And then he did the ksh again. And then all the dogs were like, gaga, gaga, gaga. And the ones that were on the other side of the yard had the other ones go, goof, 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 goof. All the dogs came. Obvious, guys, like I did say, it's like the fence, like this, like with spaces. It's a fence with spaces, those fences, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe, and then there are spaces in between. Then the dogs came in between the fence, the spaces. They were all like around us like this. My friend was grabbing me like this, using me like to shield herself like this, like she was screaming so hard, like using me like this. I was trying to tell her to put me down, like put me down. The dogs are coming. They can see that I'm not scared of them because I'm trying to say Fozak. I was saying Fozak. Trying to grab the stones. I can't even find stones. I'm trying to grab, like, Fozak. Trying to kick them. But there are so many of them, and I'm also panicking because my friend is panicking, and she's so scared, and she's trying to use me to shield herself, and there are dogs behind her, and then I'm in front of her, and then she's behind me, and she's a big chubby. She was a bit chubby, a bit bigger than me, and then I was just a slender girl, so she could like hold me like this, and then trying to shield herself using me, and then I'm trying to grab the stones. I'm trying to grab the stones. I'm trying to, oh my goodness, I was trying so many things, and they standing there laughing. Boys are so, I don't even want to say it. They're just standing there laughing, and then when all of that commotion was happening, I guess the parents had, because he's dead, and I don't know if it was his mother. I've never seen the mother before, but there was, I'm guessing, I'm assuming it was their mother, and then the mother and the dad came out, and then they're like, "Hey, Banbani, why are you watching the dogs do that to the other kids?" And then they're like, "No, Baba, in." And then his dad was shouting, "What if those dogs had those kids? What if those dogs had? What are you going to do if those kids get hurt? What are you going to do? Why are you just standing there laughing? Why are you doing what you're doing?" And then they were scared of their dad, and then they were like, "I know, Dad." They started calling dogs, using their names, and then, "Ban, come on." Then the dogs are still. It was all happening so fast, but then obviously, we're trying to, to act strong. They calling the dogs using their names, and then the dog were settling down now. They're starting to settle down, and then they going back to the yard, like a bit by bit. They going back to the yard a bit by bit, and then their dad is still shouting, and then their dad is asking us, "Hi man, I know you. Are you whoever's child?" I'm saying, "Yes, I am." They're like, and then he's shouting at them, "Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?" They're like, "No, Dad, it's the dogs. It's not us." Now they're denying, "It's the dogs. It's not us." And then obviously he was trying to prove a point, and the dad was shouting at him now, and then he's losing more points. He's losing more points, and I'm so angry now at him. I'm just like, this guy, why would you do something like that? Even if you want a girl to be your girlfriend, you don't do such thing. I mean, even if you're trying to impress your brothers, like, you can't do that. Like, he's such a loser, that guy. His dad was like shouting at him the whole time, and we just continued. And my friend Shame, she was crying, and Shame, my friend was crying, and she was saying she'll never ever accompany me ever again. That guy, he was such a loser. I don't know now, because I've never seen him ever since then, since we were kids, so I don't know where he is now. But then I know he was still a boy, but there was wrong of him. Yeah, and then we went to wherever we were going, and then we told them what happened when we got there, and then we sat there for a while, just to calm ourselves down. And because my friend was not okay, Shame, she was so scared of the dogs, and Shame, I felt terrible for her, and she was not okay, really. She was not, and she kept on saying, "I'll never accompany you again. I'll never do it again." And I thought she was joking, and she never did ever again. And I was so angry at that guy, because now I had to go up and down all by myself now, And I used to have a friend who I was laughing with on our way wherever we were going, and sing and play on our way wherever we were sent to. Now I was all alone. When I got home, I told my dad what happened. Remember, my dad knew his dad, so I told my dad, and my dad went to his house to speak to his dad, and he told him what he did not like what he did. If something bad had happened, what was he going to do? And then his dad made him apologize to me. So he tried to apologize when he saw me at school. I was not having it. I did not want to hear him. I did not want to speak to him. I did not want to, whatever he was trying to do, I did not want to hear it at all. So nje waphela kanjalo ngorapeleng. So yeah, at least today it was not a sad story, guys. It was like a bit of a funny story, even though we could have gotten hurt, we could have gotten hurt, me and my friend, but thank God we were okay. They were just boys trying to be boys, but then it was, it was too risky to do that. And I'm glad my dad went to his house, to defend me. And then I never saw him again since we finished school. Till today, I never saw him again. I'm just thinking about that story because I'm just like, hey, I almost died because of the dogs. Anyway, that was the story, guys. I hope you liked it. Please comment, like, share the video, and also subscribe to our channel or to my channel, please. Thank you so much. Love you loads. Bye. See you next time.